want a ticket straight to them pearly gates.
Harada is sent so many requests from players ranging from brilliant to absolute idiotic. And the fact that he takes all of these things into true consideration and he sees how he can implement them into the game is really amazing. When you look at the season 2 trailer, so much of that is composed of player ideas. You could talk about photo mode. You could talk about the idea to have characters be on the main menu. You could talk about the addition of so many different character creation slots and also having all of those combined with one another. This is why I think Harada is a rarity within the gaming community. Even though I have my own complaints about the game Tekken itself, the guy, the man, Harada-san, is a legend. Someone on Twitter says, "Thank you for listening to your community. It's very rare to see so many updates making the game more fun and add something to the game through the year and more coming." Harada says, "We always keep a note on your input and feedback. We have many more updates planned for the future." To this, I would like to throw some of my own ideas out there real quickly. I love how the developers added defense training in Tekken 7. I like how they kind of tried to add on to that in Tekken 8, but I think they could take it a step further. Two more suggestions. I think they should add a throw training and also a movement training into the game. Defense in Tekken is comprised of so many things more than just punishing. Some moves is safe, and the only way that you can make it unsafe is by sidestepping, crouching. And I think the developers should pick moves from characters to use to demonstrate that so players can find other ways to escape around it. But then also you could talk about throw break training. We know there's forms of throw drills that you see on YouTube. I have picked up some of those myself. You guys will see me doing it from time to time in streams, videos, etc. But I think once again this should become a official feature within the game. And then something else that I'll just quickly throw out there as well is I love the idea to have a customized character menu. Whatever character you want, you can put it on the menu and you can also make an outfit for it. But one thing that I would like to add to this as well is say, instead of the player having to go into the settings and manually pick what character they want to be displayed, I would like for the developers at some point in time to make it automatically rotate between multiple different characters that you play or the whole roster, right? Every time you go to the menu, it shows you a new character with a new outfit, either a default, a pre-made custom, something. Now, while we take a break from talking about my own wishes, let's talk about some things that the developer, Harada-san, is doing. Going back to the trailer, he says some people have the misconception that there will be no updates until Season 2 begins, which is in spring, right? He says, "But as I explained on the stage at the TWT finals, there are many updates from now on and throughout season 2. The first thing here is that when you talk about spring, that usually means Evo Japan. Now, I don't think there's a date for that yet, but this is probably where they will announce season 2. What they will do at Game Awards, they already confirmed they'll show the final character, and boy, is the player base speculating on what that could be. The idea of Tifa is one that has been circulating for like 5 years. Maximilian birthed this idea, and the Tekken player base is keeping it alive. Merdoink, one of the best memers on Twitter, in my opinion, is doing incredible jobs of memeing on the idea of who is driving the helicopter and the helicopter itself being playable. One thing that I constantly come back to when people talk about Tifa is, one, how does that character relate to a hamster? I have not seen a good explanation yet. But then two, is her color orange? I thought her color was more so white, black, and a little bit of red. Never orange, but maybe I'm confused. Quickly throwing out an idea that I had for a final character is, what if it's Ichigo Kurosaki from Bleach? When Bandai Namco was marketing Tekken 8, they collaborated with Bleach to have Tekken be referenced within their manga. After this post went extremely viral, Harada added to this and said that Bleach is his favorite manga. This went double as viral. Now, from that moment on, you could talk about Bandai Namco also working on a Bleach game that's releasing in March 2025, and Harada said that is like a necessary thing when you're talking about guest characters. This is why he shut down the idea of Virtua Fighter and DOA at first, is because those games aren't making new versions. Well, Virtua Fighter is now, but they weren't then. And then the final thing, when you talk about the color orange, that definitely matches with Bleach. two, when you talk about the hamster, there's a Japanese company that makes stuffed animals, and they have a hamster collection line, which Ichigo is a part of. I'm not saying Ichigo is the character that they'll show at the Game Awards, but that's just a theory that I want to throw out there for you guys. But let's keep going. Since the Tekken World Tour Finals and Rank Chu's triumphant victory, players have been making fun of Arsenal and Ash. Now, I was doing a lot of that in my live stream. I gave a more tamed take in my video, but players were roasting him regardless. And to all of the criticism, he says, I see some of you having a great day at my expense. Enjoy it while it lasts. I'm still winning. The I'm still winning part, I was thinking a lot about what he means by that, but I do think it's funny that there's a lot of people who, like, pro players are pretty funny. Pro players will call the casuals trash, and then they will go to a tournament and then get clapped up and stand no chance. So I think that's funny. So maybe that's what he's referring to when he says I'm still winning, is that like a lot of those guys who were cracking jokes, like where were they in the Tekken World Tour Finals, you know? But then Rank Chu, he responds to this and says, I beat Atif and Arslan, but I still think you two are the best top two in the world. I will try again next time with the same mindset of still challenging. Even though we crack a lot of jokes about these professional athletes, I still like to highlight how what these guys are doing and the level of entertainment that they bring all of us is something definitely to be grateful of and also admire. These guys are very, very talented and very, very skilled, but also at times they need to be humbled, brought down to the surface a little bit. Don't fly too close to the sun. We don't want you to get burned, little homie. But let's keep going before this video turns into complete gibberish. Now, when we talk about the future update that's coming, there's a lot of things that we are still looking forward to. Like one, Ghost versus Ghost. This is something that was a part of Roadmap Season 1, and now that we're kind of at the end of it, it's nowhere in sight. And with them talking about the final character and starting to get into Season 2, it's still not involved. It's still not a part of it, even though Harada says yes in this tweet that is something they're still working on. I just wonder, how difficult is it? How long is it going to take? And when will it come? Also, if you're watching the Tekken World Tour Finals, you would have seen that the developers had a lot of interesting exclusive rare merch on sale. After getting a bunch of requests for this stuff to be sold elsewhere, Harada says, I will make a proposal to the licensing department so that such merchandising can be realized in overseas tournament. An hour later, he says, I have already given feedback to the team that makes merchandise. Possibly they will be sold at Evo and other places. We cannot make any assurances. Like, we have another one here where he's talking about photo mode. He says, I've posted this before, but photo mode. I didn't think photo mode would be so popular. I didn't initially propose this as a project. It was a member of the younger generation who wanted to do this. Someone adds to this and says, I personally want a green screen or something that can be overlaid over the stage, trying to get an image of Yoshimitsu in flying stance for something, and I just can't right now. And he says, okay, I'll share your opinion. And this is what's incredible. Like, first off, I love the idea of a green screen, because for those of you who don't understand like the green screen and how that can be used in thumbnails and just all kind of meme material, like, look it up. But two, to what I say to this is that the fact that once again Harada is taking this into consideration and he's really sharing it with the team is incredible. I think it is a tragedy that this game was slowed down so much by bad monetization decisions, but then also you got to talk about balancing. When you look at Twitter and when you look at Tekken, a lot of people were hoping and praying that season 2 will fix it. And when you look at the trailer and what that trailer offered, people are really scratching their heads trying to figure out what these new moves are doing. Even though I wasn't trying to be too doom and gloom in my breakdown of the new moves, I do think there's some stuff there to be worried about. Combo bloat getting out of control, heat adding more mix up to the equations. I do wonder, how will they address the criticism? Because, you know, they need to, right? The players have spoken unanimously about what's happening with this game, and the developers, I think, will be smart to definitely try to like do something about it. And I just wonder, with Harada being this understanding and this open to ideas when it comes to gameplay, when it comes to balancing, will this be something, will we see the same there as well? We saw, like, you know, with characters like Devilgen and Azina at the beginning, where they buffed those guys. You can even talk about when they buffed Raven, they buffed Kazuya, they buffed Paul Phoenix back a couple vanilla updates go. At times, the developers do show that they're willing to listen and hear the players and try to give them what they want. I think sometimes in Tekken 7, it's kind of at a detriment because players are asking for things that doesn't really make sense, like buffs to Gigas, even though his win rate was the best online, things of that sort. But sticking to Tekken 8, the players have spoken pretty unanimously about how they want this game to be crafted, and I wonder if the developers will live up to that. The first true glimpse of that will be at the Game Awards when they show the final character. We all pretty much are assured that it's going to be a guest character, but what kind of guest character? Will that guest character be super overpowered like the past 5 DLC guest characters that we got in the previous Tekken games? Or will they give us a pretty, decently balanced character with exciting gameplay? It really is a tragedy as well that Heihachi and Lydia are both stance 50-50 guard breaking characters. Will we get more of that when Anna comes into the game? She is the true 50-50 character, and how will the developers differentiate her from the other characters who are basically stance 50-50s? With everything being funneled into the heat system, they do have to make sure that they're having the characters be more unique and the characters be more just themselves, right?